This is evaluation 7, and the question is, looking back at your prelim task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to full product? We filmed and created our prelim on an iPhone using the app Splice. This was easy to use and free.
When first looking at our preliminary, we realised our shots were too long, and therefore in our final product we shortened the cuts to fit the conventions of a thriller and to create tension. Also in our prelim we used natural lighting, however in our final piece we used dark filters to create a dramatic and tense atmosphere, which fits the conventions of a thriller. A small variety of shots at mid-level that we used in the prelim look basic and simplistic. As a result, we used more complex shots in our final piece. Finally, when filming, the director accidentally filmed from a portrait angle. Therefore, we had to refilm a number of shots in landscape, so that they flowed together naturally.
Okay, we used a different number of shots. There were some that we had to use which were compulsory, which was the 180-degree rule, a shot reverse shot and a match on action. But we also decided to use a tracking shot, pan, dialogue, continuity editing and a low angle shot. We included the majority of these shots in our final piece, however we didn't include dialogue because we thought it looked very unprofessional and unrealistic and didn't really fit the conventions of a thriller. We didn't also consider the low quality of the camera during our prelim or what editing software we were going to use, so we had to think more about this when we did our final piece so it looked more professional and clearer and fitted the conventions of a thriller better.
Now we're going to talk through our shots that we used in the prelim. The first shot we used was a tracking shot. This is when the camera follows the protagonist. This shot was hard to use as the different levels we used, for example the stairs, made it difficult to keep the camera still. This made the shots look shaky and so the professionalism was taken away.
We then used a pan shot in our prelim. Panning is a camera movement that involves moving the camera horizontally to the right or to the left. With this technique you can track an object or any type of movement. This is evident in our prelim as this was effective as it created the illusion that the protagonist was being watched. In our final piece we used this shot, however we made it shorter to look more thriller-esque.
We also used continuity editing, so it started on a high angle but it ended on a mid angle, so it didn't look very realistic and therefore it didn't really suit the style that we wanted in our final piece. So it was good in the prelim because we got an idea of what we wanted to do and adjust in our final piece. Continuity editing is when the shots follow naturally on from one another. So for example, if someone was to walk through a door, it would follow on that the next shot would be them coming through the other side of the door.
What's the problem?
We also used shot reverse shots. However, these looked a little bit disjointed because it's when it's a conversation between two people. So it would be on one person then to the next person who responds to them and then back to the original person. But it was when we were filming it was at two different levels, so it didn't look very natural and the shots were too long and therefore took away from the actual what was going on in the conversation. So we didn't really use any of them because we only had one character in our final piece.
We didn't have enough footage during the prelim, so as a result we had to use the shots we had anyway. Thanks for watching part 1.